everybody. This is Jeff Veale, the business guru, coming to you from a hot and sweaty downtown Manila. It's so humid here today, guys. Guys, I've got an awesome guy. I've been having a chat for a little while. An awesome guy from my home country back in downtown Australia. And his name, it's an unusual name, his name is Arnold Pierce Kelsey. And Arnold is a business broker. Don't hold that against him. He's very good at what he does. Name of the company, Kelsey Business Brokers. Business sales and real estate. So if you want some help in that, guys, if you're thinking about buying a business, selling a business, get it exit ready, guys. Talk to him. He'll give you a list of things you could and should do, and maybe you can increase the value dramatically, right? If you get it right, guys. You know, like even a house, a slap of paint and $200 worth of plants in the front garden can make wonders. Put an apple pie in the oven, get that smell happening. You know. Get people to fall in love with your product, guys. His key achievements, multi-award-winning business broker, one of the most successful business brokers in Queensland. So any of you Queensland people out there, but I'm sure he does Australia-wide, but any of you Queensland people out there, reach out to this man. Philosophy. I love it. I'm serious about selling your business. So listen to that, guys. This could be a golden opportunity. If you're watching this podcast and seeing this thing, oh, I'm getting old, I'm getting on a bit, I want to sell, reach out, because you can work together and you can sell it this year, next year, 5 years' time. You can work together and get optimum dollar for your business, guys. All that hard work, get a reward for all that hard work, right? Interesting fact about himself, he has an MBA from UCLA, right? And a bit more here that I'm going to, without further ado, I'm going to introduce my guest. Good afternoon, Arnold. How are you, my friend?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Fantastic, right? Tell us about your journey and what inspired you to pursue your current career path. Tell us about the beginning.
Okay, well, the beginning is, look, I came from France when I was 13 years old to Australia with my parents, obviously, and I was raised in Melbourne and had my own businesses. And in around 2019, I had moved to Queensland and I decided to become a real estate agent. I had a fair bit of experience in land developments, and I always liked real estate as a industry sector.
Vehicle, yeah.
So I finished the course at the 𝐊𝐢𝐭𝐡, and I was waiting for the Office of Fair Trading to issue my license. Regrettably, like most government departments, they like to take their time about things. And believe it or not, it actually took 4 months for them to issue my license.
Yeah. Something they used to do over the counter, by the way, back in my day, guys.
I know, but
$10 over the counter.
If you try to call them, they say to you, don't waste our time. We're busy. We'll do it when we got time. Anyway.
I'm going to tell you a story about this, guys. In Sydney, that same office where you go, they've got 10 TVs. Isn't that pretty good? Because everyone's got to wait. You ready? All the TVs are aimed at them. So the staff watch the TVs. True story. The staff watch the TVs while you sit like a donkey and wait. Yeah. How cool is that? How's that for customer service?
Well, they don't have competition, so they don't need to give you the service. They don't. You have to work with them. You have no option.
Yeah, that's right. Well, you have an option. I go around them. I avoid them where possible. That's
well,
my part.
Anyway, while I was waiting for this, I met a gentleman at Eagle Street Pier in Brisbane, which is, for those of you who don't know, it's an area on the river littered with very good restaurants and bars. The short story is we got talking for probably an hour and a half. He was very interested in my work history and my qualifications. He didn't tell me what he did for a living. It was a very one-sided conversation. He was asking the question and I was providing answers. At the end of our conversation, he said that he thought that we could do some business together. I still had no idea what he was talking about. But he said he didn't want to discuss it any further because he had a few drinks and he preferred to discuss it when he was sober.
Fair enough.
Yep. He offered me his business card and asked me to contact him the next day. I Googled his company and his name, and I found out that he had a very reputable business broker agency in Queensland. I sent him an email, and the general manager replied and invited me to a meeting. He was not available that day, but after a very long discussion with the general manager, she asked me if I knew what a business broker did. And I said, yes, I did, because I had actually bought a business through a business broker back in Melbourne. She then asked me if I had ever considered becoming a business broker. And I said, no, never even crossed my mind. She pointed out if anyone wrote a list of requirements for a successful business broker, I would tick all the boxes. She asked me to seriously think about a career as a business broker. To cut the story short, at a later date, I was asked to join the agency, which I accepted. And that's all it started back in 2019.
Good story. What's been the most challenging aspect of your work, and how have you overcome that, Arnold?
Well, the most challenging aspect of my work, without any doubt, is finding new listings.
Yes.
As I have only lived in Brisbane for a short period of time, I do not have the connection that most of my colleagues have. I have attempted to make connection through a very large number of networking events.
Yes, good idea.
I have also been very active on LinkedIn in an attempt to get my name out there.
Yeah, good way. Yeah,
that has assisted me, but I still consider it my biggest challenge is obtaining the next listing.
Chicken or feathers, isn't it? Chicken or feathers.
Correct.
Yeah. Tell us an important moment in your career that changed your direction. From the Melbourne days, you got smart, you got out of Melbourne where it's cold, wet and windy, so that was a smart move. But what happened then?
Well, I guess the key factor is the fact that I met this gentleman at Eagle Street Pier.
Yeah.
If I had not met him...
By the way, what got you out of Melbourne?
Well, the short story is my business that I had for many, many years, making me very good money, went under because of the Australian dollar climbing up to around the $1 plus mark and remained at over $1 for over 12 months.
Yeah, you got squeezed.
My business went under, and I've always liked Queensland. I used to have an apartment on the Gold Coast, and I used to try to spend as much time as possible in Queensland. So I decided to make the move and come up here.
Funny story, guys. Backstory, guys. For those of you who do know me, I've been in Asia for 13 years, and I got fed up with Sydney, so I wanted to get out. Where I was going to go, and I went and had a bit of a brief look at it. I was going to go to, very well named, I was going to go to Runaway Bay. And the idea was I was going to run away, get a villa on the water with the canal guys, and you can put your own boat, like park your boat outside your house. So I was going to go to Runaway Bay, get myself a boat and go fishing every day. And I thought, no, that'll get pretty boring after a while. I might as well go overseas. So I went overseas, guys, and I've been here 13 years. I've been here ever since. I'm never, ever going back. Tell me, Arnold, it's all about you. In your opinion, what are the key qualities and skills that have contributed and helped with your amazing success? What's been the contributing factor there?
There are a handful of different factors. Having run and managed my own businesses successfully, I understand the intricacies of operating small and medium-sized businesses. The fact that I also have an MBA, which I obtained from UCLA, by the way, in California, has given me the ability to fully understand a business's financials. I have also had a lot of experience negotiating back in Melbourne, including with high-ranking government officials. I have been involved in negotiation with the Lord Mayor of Melbourne and the Premier of Victoria. So overall, I think I can cover every angle of being a business broker.
Fair enough, too. And I'd say, because I've had a chat to Arnold coming on the show. He's an awesome listener too, so you can tell Arnold your problems and he'll come up with a solution for you. Tell me, Arnold, how do you stay motivated as you do and continue to innovate in your field and find new ways to help people? How do you do that?
Well, I think motivation is very difficult when you're working for yourself.
It is.
Have a boss telling you to go to work. You don't have a boss telling you what to do. You're not really accountable to anyone.
That's right.
If you want to have a day off, you don't want to work, you don't want to, it's very easy to say, oh, forget it, I'm not going to do anything today.
That's right.
So it's To be motivated when you're working for yourself is very difficult. But what motivates me is my insatiable urge to be successful.
Yeah.
Nothing is ever enough for me. No matter how successful I am, no matter how much I have achieved, I always want more. I always think I can do better.
Guys, it's not about the money, guys.
That's right. It's not.
Arnold's here. See what Arnold's got, and I've got it too, guys. We've got something that most of you guys have not got. We have a passion, not a job. We have a passion, a mission. All right, and our mission is to help you. So reach out to Arnold, have a chat. He's a very interesting guy. Forget about business broking. Just reach out to him in general and have a chat, because he might know something you don't know, which may assist you, and vice versa. It's called networking, guys. So do a bit more networking, guys, and increase your wealth and your worth. Right? Tell us about a recent project or achievement of your many that you're particularly proud of, Arnold.
Well, there's one that really stands out above all the others. I've sold numerous businesses, and many more expensive than this business I'm going to talk about.
Yep.
I'm really proud of what I achieved selling this business. The seller contacted me through LinkedIn, actually.
Lovely.
We had a chat, and he advised me that he had his business for sale for over a year with another broker. He wasn't just disappointed the business hadn't sold in that time. After all, look, some businesses take a very long time to sell. But he was very disappointed that the broker didn't seem to know what he was doing. He never provided any feedback or anything like that. What he thought made it worse is the fact that this broker was part of one of the largest agencies in Australia.
Yes.
The seller had heard some good things about me and asked me to take on the listing. As per my usual process, I had a number of questions that had to be answered about the business, and I also wanted to analyze the financials before I would make a commitment. After analyzing all the information, I thought that this was a very good business, really excellent business, and I decided to take on the listing.
Lovely.
I told the owner that I thought the previous broker had made two very serious errors. The first one was the ad. It did not represent the business. It actually represented in a very poor light and would not attract the right buyers.
Yes.
The second mistake was the sale price. The owner jumped in and said that he was prepared to sell it for less, but the broker had determined the sale price.
Oh, God.
I replied that it was priced incorrectly, and that I felt the business was worth, and listen to this, 3 times more than the advertised price.
Wow.
The seller was in complete shock. He said, "How is that possible?" He said, "We haven't had any inquiries." I said, "You haven't had any inquiries because the ads do not attract the right buyers."
Yeah, you're not flagging down the right people.
Well, your bait is wrong. You're fishing, but you're using the wrong bait.
Well, if you're trying to sell steak to a vegetarian.
Correct. That's exactly what it was, The seller was shocked. And he said to me, "Look, I've had it on the market for well over a year. I want to sell it quickly. I don't know if I can, we can go at 3 times the price." I said to him, "Look, I'm 100% sure," and I used the word 100% because this was a great business.
Yes.
And I said, "I think I can get you very close to 3 times what you're asking for." And he said, "Look, I'll agree to doubling the price. But as far as I want to go, if you think you can sell it for," I said, "No problems. I think we will sell it and we will get the right buyer fairly quickly." I had the business under contract in 31 days at the full asking price.
Yeah, awesome. Awesome.
I also had several potential buyers in line just in case the other ones fell through.
But see, guys, it all comes back to experience. There, where Arnold came in, Arnold's already had a business. This is not a guy who bought an effing book, guys. All you coaches out there, you're not coaches at all. You bought a $10 book on coaching and you call yourself a coach. You've got to play the game. You can't be a spectator. This man's played the game at the elite level. He's got the bruises to show you where he's done it, right? He's had businesses. He's gone broke, right? Put his hand up. And you haven't gone broke, guys. You don't know how to run a business because it's so easy to go broke, right? You can go broke by being successful, right? So anyway, what advice would you give a 20-year-old version of you, Arnold, who walked in the door tomorrow and wanted to talk to you about life and business? What would you tell him?
Well, don't become a business broker. That'd be my first advice.
Right.
Because being a business broker is one of the hardest jobs anyone can have.
You try
Unless
being,
you're prepared to
a
work
digital marketer. It's pretty hard, tough too.
well. That's how I feel. Unless you're prepared to work very hard and offer a service second to none, you will not succeed. You might make a living, and most brokers make a living, but you will not be very successful.
Yes.
When you're working for yourself, whether you're a real estate agent or a business broker, and there are similarities between the two.
Sure.
If you're not prepared to put in the hours and the work, right, you're not going to succeed. As you talked about, we were talking before this interview, as you said, most real estate agents want to work 9 to 5.
That's correct.
Same with business brokers. And the thing is, as we both know, most of our customers, whether you're in real estate or in business, our customers are working 9 to 5.
Busy, that's right.
They want to talk to you after hours. They want to talk to you on the weekend. They want to do inspections on the weekend.
That's right.
If you're not prepared to do that, well, you might make a living, but you're not going to be successful.
Yeah, there's many ways. There's many. And I would say, and Arnold would agree, get a mentor. Reach out to someone like Arnold, someone who's been there and done it, guys. I kid you not, and someone like me, I've done this for 50 years, guys. You'll shave 10 years off the journey by getting a mentor like Arnold. Reach out, ask him a few questions, and he'll tell you, listen, you're going the wrong direction. Come back and go this way. He'll tell you, get out of Melbourne and go to Brisbane. The only good thing to come out of Melbourne, guys, in my eyes, is the Hume Highway. So anyway,
very good.
Arnold probably agrees now. After
yes,
all those years.
I've always loved Queensland, and my long-term plan, even when I was in Melbourne, my long-term plan was always to move to Queensland.
But you did it. That's the difference, guys. See, some people talk, guys. My long-term plan. I've just had a beautiful holiday in Ireland called Boracay, especially one of the top 5 in the world. So I came back and I said to myself, because I'm on a visa here in the Philippines, I've got to renew it every 2 months. So I said to myself, hang on, Jeff, why don't you do this? Instead of renewing your visa every 2 months, why don't you leave the country and go somewhere else, go one way and spend either 2 days, 5 days, 2 months, whatever it takes, have a good time, and then come back and then do it again in 2 months' time. So my new goal, guys, I'm going to Malaysia on the 14th of September. My new goal is to go somewhere new every 2 months. That's going to make me meet new people, going to open up new cultures, new food. I'm going to have a wonderful time. And you can too. You've just got to want to. You've got to make, like Arnold did, you've got to make it happen. Right? He's never been happier. But he's in his happy space now. I can assure you, he was not in his happy space in Melbourne with the cold, crappy winter type weather most of the year. Right.
Jeff, let me tell you something. I'm currently in Brisbane, and it's 28 degrees.
Beautiful.
And beautiful and sunny.
Yeah, well, I'm here. It's about 35. It's usually pretty hot here. About 35 outside.
And in Melbourne, it's probably 12 degrees.
Yeah, that's right. You don't need a jacket up in Brisbane. Doesn't snow in Brisbane, guys.
No.
Arnold, we're about to wrap it up shortly. Tell our listeners and people watching this wonderful podcast to find out more about your services and so you can help them. I've got a question to you too. Are you able to help people interstate, pretty much anywhere in Australia? Can they get your expertise if they're the right type of client?
I prefer to concentrate on Queensland, New South Wales, and Victoria, possibly.
Yep. Okay. So that's up and down the coast, guys.
But, if you have very often when you're selling businesses, you have to actually visit the premises. You have to take inspections. Right. So selling a business is not something you do online. You know, you do a lot. You can do a lot of the work, but you need to.
It's a people business, guys. It's always a people business. That's
exactly right, and it's not realistic to sell a business interstate unless it's a very large business that.
Yeah, and you go there and have a look. Yeah. That's the one.
Otherwise, it's just for example, if you got a $500,000 wonderful, it might be a wonderful business, but if I have to fly down to Melbourne or to South Australia, wherever 3 or 4 times, it's not worth it, Yeah. So I would prefer to concentrate.
Unless, of course, the vendor pays your fares, which I'm sure the smart ones would be prepared to do. If I want to hire an expert, I've got to pay the bill. Simple.
Unfortunately, a number of business owners want to get the cheapest broker possible and not pay for anything.
And they'll get the cheapest price for their business possible. That's the bottom
That's
line.
exactly right. You only get what you pay for.
Always. And I tell people, I say, when you die, guys, do you think you'll have more than $50 in the bank when you die? I certainly hope so. But I tell people, this is my motto, boys and girls, it only costs twice as much to go first class. So go first class. Right? So
Agreed wholeheartedly.
Yeah, Arnold understands it fully. Arnold, we're about to wrap it up, but before we do that, you've got to tell us a fun fact about yourself that most people don't know.
Well, this is probably going to surprise you. It's something very much out of the left field. I was actually invited and I attended an exclusive party at the Playboy Mansion.
That's pretty cool. Let
Yes.
me tell you, my friend, that's pretty cool. I'll come back to that. I lived for 6 months here in the Philippines back in the day, probably 10 years ago, above the Playboy Bunny Club. And I went there for lunch every day with all the rich and famous and the politicians and these beautiful 5'8" Victoria's Secret type models. Right?
Yes.
It was a fun time. And Arnold will tell you what a fun time that is.
Well, the Playboy Mansion is a beautiful place. It's got the most amazing gardens. It's even got their own small zoo. And the party had roughly 2,000.
Awesome.
Look, they had celebrities galore and everything. Security was incredible. There were no issues. The food was out of this world. They had chefs at different stations preparing everything.
Different rooms, right? Different rooms in the house, right? Like a Japanese room and a steak room, correct?
The food was just incredible. I mean, first of all, they had every kind of sweet you can imagine, pastries and cakes and all, but they had sushi being prepared fresh, you know. They had chicken being grilled, you know, on a barbecue. They had steaks. Everything you can imagine was prepared fresh in front of you.
I know. Let me tell you, my friend. You ready? Not to upstage you. I went to America when Crocodile Dundee was at his peak. I had 50 people following me around every day. They thought I was Crocodile Dundee, and I went to a party at Michael Jackson's house, and I know exactly what you're talking about, guys. It was a 14-room mansion, and each room was decked out as a kitchen. We had a sushi room, an Italian room, a steak room, a dessert room. At the back of the house, there was a rock and roll band. At the front of the house was a jazz band, and it was at where was it? Oh God, I'm getting old. Not Bellevue Hill, not Beverly Hills either. I've forgotten where it was, guys, but it's close to Hollywood anyway. And they had 40 white limousines at the bottom of the hill, because you had to go up a hill to get there. And they had all these limousines, which took about 8 or 10 people, and they were shuttling all these limousines up and down all night. It was such a cool experience. So I know. How did you come to get? How'd that? Tell us the story, Arnold. How did that happen to you?
Well, as I think I mentioned, I got my MBA at UCLA.
Yep.
So I've spent a lot of time in Los Angeles and in the US, and I'm a very passionate. I love horse racing, you know.
Yes.
And I was at the races, and I met this gentleman and got very friendly with him and all that. And he said, "Look, there's an event."
Americans are very good that way. I met multi-millionaires at different parties who invited me to the next event. Like, hey, next weekend you've got to come to my birthday. And then I met. Are you ready? Jack Nicholson. I'm opening up a new bar next week, the Monkey Bar, which is probably still there. I want you to come as my guest to the Monkey Bar. You know.
I think many Australians dismiss Americans as, you know, arrogant and all that, but I think generally they're very generous people and very welcoming people, and they love Australians.
What I found, Arnold, you and I are both salesmen. I make no apologies for being a salesman, guys. Back in Australia, I'd put my suit on like Arnold. I'd go off somewhere to a networking meeting, and people would say, "What do you do?" And I'd say, "I'm in real estate. I'm a salesman." And people, I kid you not, they would count after we shook hands, they'd count their fingers. that make sure they still had 5 fingers. I went to America. They asked me what I did. And I said, I'm in sales. Oh, tell us your story. And I had a gather around me to hear the story. That's the difference between America and Australia. Australia's got that tall poppy syndrome. They want to cut your legs off. America, they want to build you up. Big difference, guys. Big difference. If you get a chance, guys, one bit of advice I give everybody here: travel, 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 travel. Some of you poor buggers have never been out of your own suburb, let alone your own state.
That's right.
Make the effort, travel. It'll open your eyes. It'll open your mind. It's a great experience, guys. And remember, you're not coming back. If you think you are, I'll tell you what I'll do for you. If you think you're coming back, I'll give you double. Give me your money, and I'll give you double your money when you get back. The only guy that came back had holes in his hands, right? So that's another story. So we've got to wrap this up now. You've been an awesome guest. Thanks for being on the show today, Arnold. And if you want your 15 minutes of fame, folks, everyone's got a story just like Arnold. Love to hear your story. Please reach out, come on the show, and let's put you in front of potentially hundreds of prospects. We'll put you across LinkedIn, Facebook groups, Quora, Reddit, and of course YouTube with all your social media links and make you more famous than what you are. Have an awesome day, folks. And thanks again, Arnold.
Thank you very much for your time, Jeff.